You walk past a mirror, and in that instant, something catches your eye. Your hair. It doesn't feel like you. It feels older, heavier, maybe even tired. When deep down, you know you still carry a spark of energy, adventure, and joy. For so many women over 60, the reflection in the mirror tells a different story than the one they feel inside. And often, it starts with hair. Maybe you've noticed it too. Bangs that just don't sit right, hair that falls flat at the back, or color that somehow makes your skin look duller. Perhaps your strands feel thinner than they used to, or styling takes more effort than it ever did before. And no matter what you try, the end result reflects the vibrant woman you truly are. You're not alone. These are common struggles that many women share, but they don't have to define you. That's why today's video is so important. Because what I'm about to share with you are not just tips, not just ideas floating around without proof. These are tried and true solutions gathered from years of experience helping women in their 60s, 70s, and beyond find styles that don't just flatter their faces, but honor their spirit. Here's what you'll discover today. The 10 most common hair mistakes women over 60 make. Mistakes that can quietly add years to your look without you even realizing it. Simple, confidence-boosting fixes for each mistake. Changes that can be made without spending hours in front of a mirror or emptying your wallet at a salon every week. A clear lifestyle framework, showing you how to match your hair routine to your actual daily life. Whether you want minimal effort, something polished for an outing, or that event-ready look when it matters most. And finally, universal confidence strategies. Because the way your hair frames your face and reflects light doesn't just change your appearance, it changes how you feel when you step into the world. By the end of this video, you won't just know what not to do. You'll have a blueprint for youthful, easy, elegant hair that aligns with the vibrant woman inside you. Before we dive into the very first mistake, I want to ask you something. Our community here is growing into such a beautiful circle of women, and I would love to know how far it reaches. So tell me in the comments, where are you watching from? You'd be surprised how uplifting it feels to see women supporting each other across countries and continents. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, because here we share practical, uplifting advice and simple style tips designed for women over 60. Every video is made to help you feel confident, elegant, and completely yourself. You won't want to miss it. So let's begin. And we'll start with the very first mistake. One I see more than almost any other, and it all begins right at the front of your face. Let's talk about disconnected bangs. Let's start with the front of your hair, because this is where the eye goes first. Picture this. You've got bangs cut in, but instead of flowing naturally into the rest of your style, they sit alone like a little shelf across your forehead. They don't connect into the sides, and instead of giving softness, they create a hard edge. This is what we call disconnected bangs. Why does this happen? Often, it's because the bangs were cut straight across without being blended into face-framing layers. It can look fine when freshly styled at the salon, but at home, it quickly becomes frustrating. The bangs start to look like a separate piece of hair, almost like they don't belong with the rest of the cut. And here's the real challenge. It makes your forehead look larger and your face boxier than it actually is. That can be discouraging, because instead of lifting your features, disconnected bangs drag the focus downward. Instead of brightening your eyes, they create a blocky line that can feel heavy and difficult to style. The good news? The fix is simple. When bangs are softly connected into side layers, they frame your cheekbones and jawline beautifully. Instead of drawing attention to your forehead, they create movement that flows into the rest of your haircut. This not only softens your overall look, but also lifts your features, giving your face a more open and youthful frame. Imagine running your fingers through your bangs and watching them sweep gracefully into your side layers. It feels natural, effortless, and elegant. Now I want to hear from you. Do you wear bangs now, or have you avoided them? Have you ever felt like your bangs made your forehead look larger? If so, hit the like button so more women know they're not alone in this. Now let's move to the back of your hair. because what happens there can change your whole profile. Come with me to the back of your hair, because what happens there often goes unnoticed until you see yourself in a photo from the side. Have you ever looked at a picture and thought, why does my hair seem to be pulling everything down? That dragging effect usually comes from a flat nape with no beveling. Here's why it happens. Many cuts leave too much bulk at the nape of the neck. Instead of shaping the hair to follow the natural curve of your head and neckline, it sits flat or heavy. Without lift or shaping, the hair looks weighed down and the eye is drawn downward. The result? Your profile loses its lightness, and your posture can even appear slumped, even if you're standing tall. It's frustrating because from the front, everything may look fine, but from the side, the style looks heavy and unfinished. For women over 60, this can add years without you realizing it, simply because the silhouette isn't balanced. The solution is surprisingly subtle yet powerful. A skilled stylist will add light beveling or layering at the nape. This allows the hair to curve inward gently, following the natural lines of your neck. That little lift at the back gives your entire style movement and makes your profile look elegant and upright. Think of it as giving your hairstyle good posture. It instantly feels lighter, fresher, and more polished. My question for you is, when was the last time you looked at your hairstyle from the side? Do you notice your hair pulling downward in the back? If this sounds familiar, share this video with a friend who might be dealing with the same struggle. They'll thank you for it. Now let's look at the crown, because what happens on top can make or break your style. Let's shift our focus to the crown of your head, the very top section that everyone notices, whether you realize it or not. Have you ever caught your reflection and thought your hair looked more like a helmet than a style? That heavy, solid shape on top usually comes from a crown that's been left without layers. Here's why this happens. Some stylists cut the hair to one length, either out of habit or because they think it will make maintenance easier. But when the crown is left heavy and flat, there's no room for natural movement or lift. The result is a rounded, helmet-like effect where the sides look wider and the top looks flat. Instead of framing your face with softness, the cut creates a blocky outline that instantly feels dated. The emotional impact of this mistake is huge. You can spend time styling, teasing, or spraying, but without proper layering, the top will always collapse. It feels discouraging, especially when you remember how much body your hair once had. The fix? Gentle crown layers. Not choppy or extreme, but light, airy layers that give your crown the ability to lift naturally. With the right cut, your hair gains subtle movement and height without needing constant teasing. It adds flow, bounce, and a sense of youthfulness that feels fresh instead of forced. Picture looking in the mirror and finally seeing volume at the top that balances your whole face. It's an instant confidence boost. So let me ask, do you feel your hair gets too flat on top? Would you like more body without spending hours styling it? If so, make sure to hit subscribe because I'll be sharing more volume secrets in upcoming videos. But even if the cut is right, the color can be quietly working against you. Color plays a bigger role than most people realize, and gray hair is a perfect example. When gray grows in naturally, it often comes in as one flat shade. Without contrast or shine, it can make the overall look appear washed out. Even if the cut itself is flattering, a monotone gray can leave the hair looking dull and lifeless. Here's why this happens. Natural grays tend to lose pigment unevenly, which means you end up with large areas of hair that all look the same. Without depth or variation, there's nothing to catch the light. Instead of adding dimension, the color flattens the style and can even make the skin appear tired. It's not that gray hair itself is unflattering, it's that when it lacks tone and dimension, it doesn't bring out your best features. The good news is that the solution doesn't require a dramatic change. Adding subtle lowlights in soft, natural shades gives the hair depth, making it look fuller and more vibrant. A simple gloss treatment can also add shine, richness, and reflection without the upkeep of constant coloring. These small adjustments can transform gray from flat to luminous, enhancing both your hair and your complexion. Imagine your gray sparkling with soft highlights, framing your face with brightness instead of dullness. That's the power of dimension. I'd love to know, have you embraced your natural gray, or do you still color your hair? Would you try lowlights if it meant you could avoid high-maintenance roots? Share your journey in the comments below, because your story might inspire another woman who's considering the same step. Now let's tackle one of the biggest frustrations: working against your own natural texture. One of the biggest frustrations I hear from women is how much time they spend trying to fight against their natural hair texture. Maybe you've been there too, endlessly straightening waves until your arms ache, or flattening curls only to watch them spring back the moment humidity hits. It feels like a battle, and more often than not, it's one you can't win. Here's why this mistake happens. Many styles are chosen without considering the natural pattern of your hair. When a cut doesn't match the way your hair wants to behave, it means constant heat, products, and hours of effort just to force it into place. And even then, the results rarely last. Instead of looking polished, the hair often ends up limp, tired, or stressed from all the styling. The emotional toll is real too. Spending so much time trying to control your hair can feel discouraging, especially when all that effort doesn't pay off. But here's the good news. When your haircut works with your natural texture instead of against it, everything changes. A skilled cut that's designed to complement your waves or curls creates instant elegance with very little effort. Soft layers that enhance movement, shapes that allow curls to bounce, or lengths that let waves flow freely. These choices turn your natural texture into your greatest asset. Imagine waking up, giving your hair a quick tussle, and having it fall into place effortlessly. That's the power of working with what you already have. Do you fight your natural wave, or do you let it flow? Would you feel freer with a cut that works with your hair instead of against it? If you've ever spent hours taming your strands, hit the like button. You're not alone. Next, let's talk about length, because where your hair lands can change everything. Let's talk about length, because where your hair lands on your shoulders can completely change the way it behaves. Have you ever noticed that when your hair hovers right at the shoulder line, it suddenly starts flipping outward in all directions? You style it carefully, and within an hour, it seems to have a mind of its own. That's because the shoulders create a natural flip zone. Here's why it happens. When hair sits exactly at the shoulder, it rubs against fabric and gets pushed outward at the ends. Instead of flowing smoothly, the cut catches on that spot and kicks outward, leaving the style looking messy or unfinished. Even with heat tools or product, it often refuses to stay in place. The emotional impact of this mistake is real. You may put time and effort into getting ready, only to feel that your hairstyle makes you look frumpy by midday. It can take away from the polished, confident look you want to project. The fix is simple but powerful. Adjust the length. Cutting your hair slightly above the shoulders allows it to fall freely without flipping, giving a clean, elegant line. On the other hand, letting it fall just below the shoulders gives enough weight for the ends to flow naturally. Either choice avoids the flip zone and results in a smoother, more flattering finish. Imagine your hair falling gracefully into place, whether short and chic or long and flowing, without the daily battle of unwanted flips. A quick question for you. Has your hair ever flipped in ways you didn't want? Do you prefer your hair grazing your shoulders, or do you like it shorter? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to see how different women feel about this. But length is only half the story. Where you place volume matters just as much. Another mistake that often goes unnoticed is ignoring face shape balance. Have you ever had a haircut where the fullness seemed to sit right at your cheeks or jawline, almost spotlighting the very areas you'd prefer to soften? That usually happens when the cut doesn't take your face proportions into account. Here's why it matters. As we age, our faces naturally change shape. Some women notice a bit more fullness in the cheeks, while others see length or sharpness in the jawline. If the haircut places too much volume in the wrong spot, like heavy layers at the sides, it can exaggerate those features, making the face look wider or longer than it really is. Instead of complementing your face, the hairstyle ends up working against it. The impact can be discouraging, because a haircut should make you feel lifted and confident, not self-conscious. Yet something as simple as the placement of layers can completely change how your face is perceived. The solution is to shift the focus upward. By adjusting the volume so that it sits closer to the temples or gently frames the cheekbones, the eye is naturally drawn higher. This creates lift, softens fullness in the lower face, and restores harmony to your features. Think of it as guiding the gaze to where you want the attention: your eyes, your smile, and your natural expressions. Answer this sincerely. Do you think your face looks fuller with certain styles? Have you ever been surprised at how one small shift in a cut changed everything? If you've noticed changes in your face shape over the years, give this video a like. You're not alone. Now let's look at something more subtle, holding on to styles from decades ago. One of the most common mistakes I see is holding on to outdated styles. Maybe you've had the same haircut since the 1980s or 1990s because it felt right back then, and over the years it's become a comfort zone. Change can feel risky, and there's always the thought, what if I try something new and regret it? So the old style stays. The challenge is that even if that cut is done perfectly today, it still carries the stamp of the past. Certain shapes, bangs, or silhouettes instantly date a look, no matter how polished. And instead of reflecting the vibrant, modern woman you are now, it can make you appear stuck in time. The emotional effect of this is subtle but powerful. You may feel younger and more energetic inside than your hair is showing outside. When that mismatch happens, it's easy to feel like the style is holding you back instead of lifting you up. The good news is that you don't need a radical makeover to look current. Often, it's small adjustments, softening the layers, reshaping the bob with texture, or updating the length slightly, that bring everything into the present. A modern cut doesn't erase who you are, it simply matches the energy and confidence you live with today. Imagine seeing your reflection and feeling that your hair finally tells the same story you feel inside. That's the power of a subtle update. So let me ask, when was the last time you truly changed your style? Do you feel your current cut reflects the way you feel today? Share this video with a friend who's still holding on to a decades-old style. She might thank you for the gentle nudge, but even the right cut can be ruined with too much of the wrong product. Another mistake that sneaks up on many women is overusing heavy product. You know the feeling. You style your hair, add some spray or gel to hold it in place, and suddenly it looks stiff, almost like a helmet. Instead of moving naturally, the hair feels glued down. Here's why this happens. Many of us get comfortable with the same products we used years ago, and back then, formulas were often thicker and stronger. Add to that the habit of using too much at once, and the result is hair that looks frozen rather than free. While those sprays and gels might have worked in the past, today they can make hair appear flat, heavy, and unnatural. The emotional impact is real. Instead of feeling polished, you end up feeling like your style doesn't match the soft, effortless look you wanted. Even worse, heavy product can weigh down fine or thinning hair, exaggerating the very issues you're trying to minimize. The fix is to lighten up. Literally, modern products are designed to give hold while staying flexible. Volumizing sprays, lightweight creams, or finishing mists create touchable styles that still keep their shape but move with you. This means your hair looks fresh, alive, and natural instead of stiff or forced. Imagine running your hands through your hair and feeling it bounce back, not crunch under your fingers. That's the difference the right product makes. Be honest. Do you still use the same hairspray from 20 years ago? Would you try lighter products if it meant getting natural movement back? Drop your answer below. I'd love to hear it. Now, let's move to the final mistake, and this one might surprise you. It's all about where you part your hair. The final mistake on our list is one that almost everyone is guilty of at some point: never changing your part line. Maybe you've worn the same middle part since your 20s or the same deep side part for decades. It becomes a habit, something you don't even think about anymore. But here's the problem. Keeping the same part for too long can actually drag your face down and make your style look less fresh. Why does this happen? Over time, hair falls into patterns, and so does the eye. A part that hasn't shifted in years creates a predictable frame, and depending on where it sits, it can highlight the wrong areas. For example, a strict middle part can pull attention downward and make the face appear longer. A heavy side part can flatten one side while creating unnecessary weight on the other. What once felt flattering may no longer be serving you. The emotional effect is subtle, but it matters. If your style feels stagnant, it can hold you back from seeing yourself in a new light. And often, it's not that you need a drastic cut, it's simply that your part has stayed the same for too long. The fix is easy and surprisingly powerful. Shifting your part even half an inch off-center can lift your features instantly. Trying a soft side part can highlight your cheekbones, while experimenting with a zigzag or a looser part can create natural volume. These small changes breathe new life into your look without committing to anything permanent. So let me ask, when was the last time you changed your part? Would you dare to try something new, even just for a day? Tell me in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories. Now that you've seen the 10 mistakes, let's connect it to everyday life. Now that we've gone through the 10 mistakes, let's talk about how all of this connects to your everyday life. Because the truth is, it's not just about the cut or the color. It's about how your hair fits into your lifestyle. Hair should work with you, not against you. And to make this simple, I like to think of hair care and styling in 3 tiers: minimal, medium, and event ready. The first tier is minimal styling. This is for days when you want to keep it easy. Maybe you're running errands, meeting a friend for coffee, or enjoying time at home. The focus here is on cuts that naturally fall into place, products that enhance your texture without fuss, and styles that don't demand daily heat tools. For many women, this tier covers most days of the week, and when your haircut is designed well, you should be able to do the bare minimum and still feel put together. The second tier is medium styling. This is when you're heading out for something a little more special, perhaps dinner, a casual gathering, or an outing where you want to feel polished. Here, you might spend a little more time adding volume at the crown, smoothing the ends, or defining your waves. This tier doesn't have to be complicated. Think of it as a 10 to 15-minute upgrade that takes you from everyday comfortable to noticeably chic. And then we have event-ready styling. These are the moments when you want to shine. Weddings, anniversaries, holidays, or even just those occasions when you feel like celebrating yourself. Event-ready doesn't mean stiff or overdone. It means elevated. Maybe it's a blowout with extra bounce, soft curls with a glossed finish, or a sleek bob that frames your face perfectly under the lights. The beauty of this tier is that you already have the foundation from your daily cut and color, so the special version feels effortless rather than overwhelming. When you start thinking of your hair in these tiers, it suddenly feels manageable. You don't need a brand new style every single day. You just need a cut and care routine that adapts to the kind of day you're having. It gives you freedom and choice instead of feeling locked into one look. A quick one. Which styling tier fits you most days? Are you more of a minimal stylist, a medium upgrader, or do you enjoy pulling out the event-ready look often? Share your answer in the comments because your perspective could help another woman see that there's no one right way. It's about what feels good for you. And if you know a friend who constantly struggles with her routine, send her this video. Sometimes hearing that hair can be simple, flexible, and even fun is exactly what she needs to feel encouraged. But lifestyle is only half of the story. How you see yourself and the confidence you carry with your hair matters just as much. Here's the most important truth I want you to take away. This isn't about hiding your age. It's about showcasing your energy, your personality, and the life you've lived. Hair should never feel like a mask. It should feel like a reflection of the confidence you already carry. When you think about it, every one of the 10 mistakes we've covered ties back to the same idea. Balance, movement, and light. And the good news is, you don't need a complete overhaul to achieve that. In fact, there are 3 universal fixes that make an immediate difference for nearly every woman over 60. The first is shifting volume upward. Whether it's crown layers, a side part, or moving weight away from the jawline, lifting the eye higher always creates freshness. The second is adding softness. Sharp edges or heavy blocks in a haircut can harden features, while gentle blending, curves, and flow open the face beautifully. And the third is enriching tone. Whether you keep your natural gray or add subtle dimension, tone, and shine are what bring hair to life. I'll share a quick story to show you how powerful these changes can be. One of my clients had been wearing the same cut for over 20 years, straight, heavy, and one length. She told me she felt invisible, like her hair didn't reflect her spirit anymore. We didn't do anything extreme. We shifted her part, added a few crown layers, and used a gloss to bring back shine. When she saw herself in the mirror, she teared up and said, "This is me again." That's the kind of transformation that comes not from drastic change, but from thoughtful adjustments that honor who you are today. So tell me, what small change in your hair, style, or routine has ever given you a boost? I'd love for you to share in the comments. And here's something fun. In future videos, I'll feature some of your stories because this channel is about building a community of women lifting each other up. Now let's recap everything so it's easy to remember. Leave with a clear plan. We've walked through the 10 most common hair mistakes women over 60 face and the easy, confidence-boosting solutions for each. First, disconnected bangs. Instead of letting them sit alone, blend them into soft layers that frame your face. Second, the flat nape. A little beveling or layering at the back instantly lifts your whole profile. Third, the heavy crown. Avoid that helmet effect by adding gentle layers on top for natural volume. Fourth, monotone gray. Give your color richness and shine with lowlights or a simple gloss. Fifth, fighting texture. Stop battling your waves or curls. Work with them for effortless elegance. Sixth, shoulder flip zone. Keep hair slightly above or below the shoulders so it flows smoothly. Seventh, ignoring face shape. Shift volume upward to balance and highlight your best features. Eighth, holding on to outdated styles. Even small updates, softer layers, modern shapes, make all the difference. Ninth, overusing heavy products. Switch to lightweight formulas for touchable, natural movement. And 10th, never changing your part. Even shifting it half an inch can refresh your entire look. When you combine these fixes, you don't just improve your hairstyle, you lift your whole outlook. This is about more than hair. It's about aligning how you look on the outside with how vibrant and full of life you feel on the inside. So here's my challenge to you. Think about which of these mistakes you might be making and try one small change this week. You'll be amazed at how quickly confidence grows from something as simple as a fresh cut, a new part, or softer layers. If any of these mistakes felt familiar, tap the like button. It tells me we're on the same journey together. Subscribe so you don't miss the next video, where I'll show you 5 hairstyles you can do in 5 minutes or less. And if you have a friend, a daughter, or a group of women who could use a little encouragement, share this video with them. Sometimes a small piece of advice can spark a whole new chapter of confidence. Remember, your age is not something to hide. It's something to celebrate. Your hair should reflect your wisdom, your joy, and your energy. And every time you look in the mirror, I want you to see a woman who feels as beautiful as she truly is. Thank you for spending this time with me. I'll see you in the next video, and until then, keep shining, keep smiling, and never forget how much you deserve to feel radiant.